Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, for the main tarot, I'm going to use the Thelema Tarot. Artwork by Renata Lechner. Over here on the side if you want to see how to spell that person's name. And the website is losgarebo.com. If I can get it close enough. If you want the spelling and you want to check it out, feel free to do so. Supportive Oracle Cards, You Are Clairvoyant Oracle Cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. The website here on the back is rockpoolpublishing.com.au, A as in apple, U as an umbrella. I also use some dice. The larger dice, it's 21-sided, which does omit the Fool, but it's still good. I just make it work. I believe that came from mathartfun.com. Hopefully, if you are trying to read that, you can read that. This is going great. Hopefully you can. Mathartfun.com. I don't know how it's looking on camera, but hopefully you can see it if you're trying to see it. The smaller dice, the 14-sided, which I use to determine the card I'm using for the minor arcana, came from Tom Anders, and there's the website on there, which I can't read right now, but if you freeze frame, you can get it. There's also this code. You can use that if you're interested. Feel free. All right, so if you're interested in a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. And without further ado, let's go on to your read. Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Gemini? The Strength card right off the bat. Is this going to be good? Is this going to be good? This is going to be one of those interesting... This is interesting. I can already see it. Sometimes it seems like Gemini can get up real fast. Things go a little sideways or things don't go well, and then you get right back up and you're off and running. Gemini can be that one. Are you that way always? I wouldn't say always, but I do feel like you have the ability to do that. Not everybody does. Starting right off with the Hermit and the Two of Wands reversed. Okay, so I feel like you already know this. I think you already know this. Something went on in the past and it was the wrong decision. But people keep playing it off like, no, it was the right decision. But I feel like you see it. You're like, nope, that's not going to work at some point. No, I can see a lot of different ways where that's not going to go well. And it's something they feel like it's in your thoughts a lot. It's kind of like they're acting like that's right. I know that's not right. All right, I guess we'll just keep going with it, but I know it's going to fail at some point. You know something isn't right. You know something's not. But I feel like I'm also like, I'm just trying to stay out of it. It's kind of like, all right, I'm just going to protect myself. Nobody wants to listen to me in this. I tried to say something in the beginning. I got poo-pooed all over the place. Nope, no Gemini, no Gemini. You're pessimistic, Gemini. Have a better attitude, Gemini. You do have a good attitude. You have an honest attitude. You know it isn't going to work. They don't want to hear it. So I feel like you've already known this. You've known this isn't right for the longest time, and it monopolizes. I feel like it's in your thoughts a lot. So currently the energy is like it's steady as they go. Steady as they go. The energy here is like it bothers you. There's stress. The situation seems to be just holding together on a wing and a prayer, or a string and a prayer, or wing and a prayer, or whatever you want to call it. It's barely making it, but it's making it, and people are acting like it's fine, and you're like, it's not. I can see, like, it's kind of like when they have $1,000 in the bank, and they keep spending, like, they have $1,000 in the bank, they spend $500 a month, and they keep recouping $300 every month after that. So every month it goes down by $200, $200, $200, and you're like, sooner or later, like, you bring in $500, You bring in 300, you spend 500. That's not working. Now you have 800. You bring in 300, now you spend 500. That's not good. Now you have 700, like, or whatever. I know I'm doing the math wrong, but like it's not working. They're bringing in 300, they're spending 500. It's just not working. You're like, no, this isn't working. Sooner or later, judgment is coming. Judgment is coming. I feel like you're going to be ready for it, though. Okay. You're going to see it coming. I feel like you're going to see it coming, and you're going to be braced. You're going to brace yourself for it. You're going to be all right. But whatever's going on here, what exactly is going on here? People not wanting to give up. People being over-emotional with it. And by over-emotional, it's just... The reason I say over-emotional is because they're like, no, this whole time, this has been working the whole time. There's no reason it shouldn't be working. And you're like, it hasn't been working the whole time. That's why it's over-emotional, because they're not willing to look at the truth. And they're just pushing all this bully energy towards it, trying to force it to still work. And it's not going to work. That's, to me, over-emotional. When you won't even consider reason, and you're just in this energy that's typically negative, or it could be positive, just to be fair. It's just kind of rolling with the energy that they just don't want to face the reality of it. That's why I'm saying over-emotional. Not because people are upset, but because people are just not willing to even consider rational thought with this. And there's a Ten of Swords here. When this is all coming down, I feel like there's not much you can do at that moment other than step back and just kind of watch it go. And I do feel, though, it's kind of like it's starting to balance out at this point. Ironically, it is starting to balance out here. Now, this is what they're saying don't do, because this situation is falling apart. It's falling apart, and people are going to try to rebuild it with just what they want. It's supposed to fall apart because it's not right. You don't want to get involved in the rebuilding of this situation, because people know it's falling apart, but they're trying to rebuild it. They're trying to rebuild it back the way that they liked it. They're back in their comfort zone. This is not a comfort zone rebuild. It's not going to work. That's where they're saying don't get involved in that. Don't get involved in these long-term plans. Okay, don't get involved in those long-term plans. We get that. So what should Gemini do? Because I get the Sun card coming for you in happiness. How do you attain that? How does Gemini attain that? Because you could... I feel like they're saying you know where to attain it, but all right. Do what you want. You got the Ace of Pentacles, half in, half out, and the Emperor, and then the Sun card and the Happiness. Now, the Ace of Pentacles, half in, half out, is like you could find something to invest in. If you're going to invest in something and you want to lock into something, you can find that. You decide if that's what you really want. You can also find a temporary solution. It's up to what works for you. I'm getting you'll find both versions. Either something you can have and keep, or you'll have another option of like have for now until I decide what I really want. Whatever works better for you. The Emperor is somebody who looks out for themselves, and then they look out for others second. That's kind of how I read the Emperor. The Emperor kind of has that energy of like, if I don't take care of me first, I can't take care of anybody else. That's more of the Emperor's kind of shtick. Like, if I die trying to help you, then who did I really help? I can't help anybody else after that once I'm dead. So I have to secure myself first. I have to save myself first, and once I've saved myself, then I can go back and help the others. But I have to stabilize me first. That's how it feels in this reading anyway. I don't always read the Emperor that way. That's kind of how it feels right now. So we're just going to go with that. Do what you want. Don't worry about these other people. If they want to have that if they want to have that moment, if they want to try to force this square peg into a circular hole, then that's their business. Let them do what they got to do. They're following their own path. I feel like they're not really being very receptive to you anyway. If they don't want to really listen to you, then let them deal with what they have to deal with. Let them handle it the way they have to handle it, and let them have the outcome that they're creating for themselves. Because it's not going to be good, because you got to have reality in that outcome, and they're not really connecting with that. You can see 1,000,001 ways to do something, yeah, but like you got to build it from reality. It's like if you're in a kitchen, you know what I mean? if you're in a kitchen, it depends on what supplies you have available to you. If you have certain proteins and maybe some breads, but you don't have anything sweet, berries or anything, you're not really probably going to make a dessert. You can find a lot of different dinners to make, and maybe you could find something interesting. You could pretend it is a dessert, but it's like there's a lot of proteins here. Although Gemini would find a dessert to make from such things, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, you're in the kitchen and you got a lot of baking supplies and they want you to build a house. You're like, I'm not going to build a house with baking supplies. Like, I might make a gingerbread house, but you're not going to live in it. You know what I mean? They're not dealing with reality. You can find a lot of ways, but you have to build from what you actually have. Let them go. Go follow what you want to do. I feel like you're going to find your out for this. And they're like just saying, don't feel bad about it. Follow that sun card. Follow your happiness and go where you want to go. Don't feel bad about leaving these other people behind. They want to play that game, that's on them. If you want to give other people advice and they want to get out too, then give those people that advice. Kind of like, yeah, I'm going here. If you want to go too, that's fine. But don't pull them with you. Give them the information. Like, here's the information. I got to go. Don't take them with you in the sense of like, all right, I'm packing up the car. Get in the car. Not like that. Get in your car, drive away, leave them the map. There's the map. You want to follow on your own terms. I gotta go. I'm out. So like, keep that in mind. Like, don't like help people forward in the sense of like, I'll wait. I'll stand here. I'll wait in the driveway with the car on, and you just come in when you're ready. No, leave them the map. Like, here's the map. That's how you get there. I gotta go, and just in the car, and off you go. I feel like that's fair. There's gonna be a point where you look back at this time. Okay, let me just... For some reason, it's a long-term outcome here. There's going to be a point where you look back, and I feel like you're gonna... It's like when you look back and you see things 2020. You knew what you knew. You had all these ideas about how to do this and how to do that. For some reason, you're going to look back later, like you're jumping into the future for some reason. You're going to look back and you're going to realize that, I put up with this a lot longer than I needed to. You're going to realize when those decisions were first made and they were incorrect, I should have left then. I should have walked away then. I should have disconnected then. And I feel like the healing card in there with the Four of Swords plus the Nine of Wands, I feel like I'm keeping it to myself, but I'm like realizing, if something like this happens again, as soon as it starts looking crazy, I'm out. I'm not waiting. I'm not going to pretend it's okay. I'm not going to see where it goes. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to follow my happiness again, and I'm not even going to wait for that. Once I start seeing that happen, I'm not going to be here for the outcome. This seems to be one of those things, one of those life lessons, which everybody who's in this life has one, like at least one. we come across these life lessons all the time. We really do. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care who you are in life. And this is one of those where it's kind of like, I knew it was going to happen. I stayed with it. I thought I should stay with it for whatever reason. But they're saying, remember, don't help. If you help it rebuild, you're just going to stay in the situation a lot longer, and you're still not going to be happy. Keep that in mind. I mean, it's your business. If that's what you need to do for whatever reason, then that's your business. The advice here is to not. And then you'll realize after, like, you know what? When I look back, I knew at that moment this wasn't going to be right, and I should have left then. And I feel like you're going to learn that, and it's going to be really strong, because whatever you went through in this situation, you really didn't like it, and you're like, nope. Not signing up for that crap trip again. Nope, not getting on that bus. Not going to do it. Things coming forward for you, by the way, whatever replaces this situation, it goes fast, then it doesn't go at all, and then it's kind of like a mix. So whatever you are going towards with you're following your happiness, wherever it is, comes in really fast. That's this card. Comes in really fast with the Ace of Wands. Gets stuck for a while and just doesn't do anything. And then it's kind of like a little bit of a barter trade system. Kind of like it goes a little bit here, then it kind of doesn't, and then it kind of does, and it kind of doesn't. It does seem to have whatever's coming in, but you're also going to be very appreciated. Wherever you're going, I feel like they're really invested in the gifts of Gemini. And the gifts of Gemini, one of the biggest ones anyway that I always notice is the fact that you can find possibilities. Where other people think there's nothing you can do, Gemini will be like, oh, there's plenty we can do. There's so much we can do. And this is what I'm seeing. I don't know why I'm trying to make that fit there, but it's not. This is here, though. Here's put that down. So I'm not saying the next situation is all sunshine and roses. I'm saying the next situation has its challenges too, but they're different. They're different, and it's kind of, again, starts off really strong, stagnates, and then it's a barter trade system. Whatever it is coming in after this. So I don't know, because it's almost like, are you thinking maybe that, why bother moving on? Because no matter where I go, it's going to be the same story. I'm getting this makes more sense. This story makes more sense. Again, goes really fast in the beginning, has a stagnation, and then it's a barter trade system, whatever that means. Barter trade, like whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're working with, whatever you're doing. After the stagnant, that's kind of like, I give you this, if you give me that, I'll do this for you, if you do this for me, that type of thing comes in after. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.